All right, I'm Shun Shiriashi. I'm from Japan. I'm a class of 2023.
Great. And Voyam?
Hi, my name is Viol Morjani. I'm a sophomore here at Trinity-Pawling School, and I'm from Singapore.
Wonderful. Stuka?
Thanks, sir. My name is Johan Yi. I'm from China mainland, and this is my second year here. I'm a senior. Thank you.
Great. And Rain, please say hello.
Hi, I'm Rain. I'm from China mainland. I'm a junior here. This is my third year here.
Great. And Tony?
I'm Tony, kid from mainland China, and I'm a senior here.
Awesome. And then Ms. Kaplan, if you don't mind saying hello, I know you were in the process of discussing how you get to work with your advisees, but I'll let you introduce yourself again there.
Sure, I'm the International Student Coordinator, and I also teach Mandarin Chinese. And this is my first year at Trinity-Pawling.
Great. And Mr. Poon?
I'm Joe Poon. I teach art here, and this is my third year. And yeah, thank you for being on the call with us.
And my name is Jeff Beck. I'm the Director of Admission, and we're really excited to be able to allow our students to continue to talk about their experience from an international perspective, and certainly happy to have some faculty members here to help support and also talk from their side of the table, or if you will. But this next question is I think, a fun question, and I think this makes Trinity-Pawling a little bit unique compared to probably some of the other schools that are out there. But what is the advantage of being at an all-boys school? Why do you like being at Trinity-Pawling, and what makes us better than all the other schools, and specifically why all boys?
I guess one of the main reasons I moved here was because in my old school, it was a co-ed school. There's a lot of gossip, and I guess I kind of got in the way of academics and school life. And here, I have very minimal distractions. There's not a lot of gossip or drama here at TP, and you have a lot less distractions, so you can be more focused on your academics and athletics.
Great. Who else would like to weigh in? Go ahead, Stuka.
Yes, sure. Trinity-Pawling is a fine boys school for many years. Teachers here has experience to deal with all kinds of situations, and experience on teaching just boys. It's like they're it's like they're professional to deal with boys, and they've been doing that for many years. Unlike co-ed schools, their teachers are only good at communicating with girls or boys. Sometimes they having hard times to deal with both kind of students at co-ed school. Unlike here at Trinity-Pawling, all teachers are. Thank you.
No, it is a big advantage. Sean, you have something?
Yeah, I would like to add on one more thing. I don't know if it was on the recording or not, but I mentioned the brotherhood earlier. And I think the brotherhood's a big part about this school. And I think being an all boys school makes this bond between students much more stronger, I think, because every I don't know how to phrase this, but boys understand boys more, I guess. But yeah, we get to kind of know what other kids are going through, and we can adjust how we're communicating and stuff with them. So I think that's a really good.
Absolutely. And I can speak to being in my first year here, and I've noticed the camaraderie on campus myself, right? And the support that the boys have for each other. And everybody seems to have everybody's back, which is a really great feeling, and certainly allows for students to develop and grow that confidence in the classroom, outside the classroom, and beyond. So another question that I have that I'd love to throw out there for you, and maybe this is probably better for some of those that are newer to the school, but what kind of questions do you wish you had? Mr. Poon, do you have something there you want to throw in?
Yeah, I just wanted to add from that last part, and sorry to have interrupted your rhythm there.
No, you're good.
That we do have Tony Gao here, who is an international student who ends up being a prefect. No, a proctor. Wait, which one is it, Tony?
I'm both.
Oh yeah, you're both, right? And so that's two of top leadership that we have here, and I think it's important to note that, if we have somebody like Tony who has figured out how to fit into the brotherhood, and then to be respected by his fellow colleagues, you know, and came from another country other than America, you know, that speaks on behalf of, you know, how these boys are communicating with each other and including people in their community.
Yeah, really great point. And I didn't want to put Tony on the spot for that. And but obviously he's you know that he's earned that leadership role by the respect of his peers, which is absolutely true. So the next question I was going to get to there is following up on kind of that all boys is you know, as you guys came to campus, what kind of questions do you wish you knew prior, or answers you wish you knew prior to showing up to campus? I think that's always a good one to ask, just because the boys that are watching this, they're probably sitting there going, what questions should I be asking, right? And you all are the experts. So what questions would you answer for them, if you will, before they could make that decision and or they arrive to campus? Rain, I'll kick that to you. If you have anything in mind that you think would be helpful for kids to know?
Not really.
All righty. Anybody have any idea of things that they really wish they knew?
I would say like some things you should purchase before you come here. For me, I bought a lot of things since I'm here, but like I like having a light stand for studying and an extra, you know, for extra light. I see a lot of kids here having LED lights, another way to get more light. And especially in the summer, having one fan makes a really big difference. So maybe new students should consider buying those stuff before they come here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had touched upon earlier, I think right before the recording started, about the fact that you could get to the Danbury Mall, which has a number of different stores and department stores that if you need any of those items, you're certainly able to get to those. And if not, you could always order things online to be delivered to campus. This is a big question. This is hopefully for those parents that might be watching. How do you boys stay in touch with your parents? How often do you talk to them? How do you stay in touch with them? So Tony, how about I'll let you kick this one off.
All right, first of all, you know, in this generation, we all know how to use phone. We have different apps, call our parents. I'd say the time difference makes it a little bit harder, but you know, you always find some time that works for you and your parents. And I want to mention something very, very, I think to me significant is that the Lunar New Year, also the Chinese New Year thing, on that specific day, the New Year's Eve, the headmaster, Mr. Taylor, will give us a like a morning off. We can call our parents, call our family, you know, FaceTime them just to celebrate the New Year, because that means a lot to us. I'm sure all my peers agree. That's a big event for us, and I really appreciate that. We all really appreciate that. So we really, you know, have a lot of opportunities to share our life or just to chat with our parents.
Great. How else did the others stay in touch? Go ahead, Stuga.
Sure. I'd like to answer a question that many of the parents might be worried about, especially parents from Russia and China, because our communication methods for the previous year and time might be difficult to use in the States, especially the WeChat has been banned by Trump government 2 years ago. There's also other sanctions like that. However, our school seems to have the green light towards those apps, which both WeChat, QQ, and the other one, suddenly forgot the name. Yeah, those apps are totally working in here, unlike some in some other places like the New York City or the airports. Some of the application might not work perfectly due to the restriction. However, there's nothing to worry about in the campus here. We all have the access to the internet of our home.
Great, that's really helpful insight. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Anybody else in terms of how they communicate with their parents?
I tend to communicate with my parents like maybe every other day, depending on how many assignments I have and stuff like that. But for me, Japan has around like a 12-hour time difference, I think. So I tend to, you know, call them like when I wake up or when I'm going to bed, kind of. But I just want to make this clear that just because you're at a boarding school doesn't mean you don't have to communicate with your parents, or that's because parents play a big role, especially when you're at a boarding school, when you need something, when you need some help. Parents are always there for you, and I think communicating with them like oftenly would help a lot, like getting through stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this next question will be a little bit kind of a dovetail off of a little bit what Tony was saying, but in terms of what's your favorite tradition, or what's been your kind of favorite experience here? And obviously Tony pointed out the Lunar New Year and celebration, but what do you all point to as your experience so far that you've really enjoyed? So Rain, I'll jump to you. What have you loved so far?
I love the headmaster holiday. So, at headmaster will give like a 1 day off for all the students, like one or twice each semester, so we can have a rest and do the things we want.
So you can sleep in, there's activities planned, and 1 day where you don't have to do any homework, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. All righty. Who else has something that they look to and say, well, man, I love that about Trinity-Pawling?
I would say like every single sports event here. So we have our sports are divided with the varsity team, the JV team, and the thirds team, but it doesn't really matter what level you're on. Often your boys come and support you in your games. And I think that's a really good, how should I say, getting support from your friends really helps during those games. And I think that's another good thing about the brotherhood again. Like, so I like the tradition where like people come and watch your games and you can, the bond between them.
Cool. Right on. And Stuka, do you have anything that you would point to as something you really enjoy?
Yes, sir. I actually really enjoy the food here. I'd like to talk a little bit about the dining hall.
Please.
So the dining hall schedule here, we have 4 day of noon that we have to sit down with a certain faculty members and team, have dinner with them together, and you will rotate into different table, which give you opportunity to meet different students and faculty members, because Trinity-Pawling is a huge school, have approximately 200 students. It's hard for you to meet everyone. However, the rotating system will guarantee you basically meet everyone in the school and sit down with them. And it's our tradition that have such a event, sit down with other kids and faculties. I really enjoyed it. And in each table, there will be a servant, which usually a student, to grab the food and drinks for the rest of the table. The servants are decided randomly. Usually you only serve a day or two each week, or then you will pass a job to the next students on the table. Each of them have opportunity to do so. Also, the food here, our school treats the quality of foods very seriously. We have specialized personnel to cook them, unlike the other boarding schools. They might have a part-time teacher who also cook and teach at the same time, which happens in my old school. And here they have an entire professional team to cook them and purchase fresh food and those kind of things. We never happen to see that there's students to get into hospital after eating something bad and stuff like that. Also, we also noticed many students have allergy to different food, and our school will provide special food that doesn't contain their energy sources or those kind of things just for them. So you don't have to any of the parents here won't be necessary to worry about the food and those kind of things here. Thank you.
So nobody's going hungry is what you're saying.
No, it never happens. We all love the dining hall here.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Well, I'd like to pass it back to our two faculty members if they have any specific questions they'd like to ask, and or if they want to just address any other topics that they either like to push the boys or answer themselves to help families get to know Trinity-Pawling a little bit better.
Well, real quick, when Stuka was talking about food, I was reminded of the funny pie toss, and it shows how charitable and thoughtful a lot of our student groups are. And I wonder if Tony Gao, you could talk a little bit about that NHS fundraiser, the pie toss.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Funny.
I got pie in the face. Let's keep it straight. But I think it was meaningful. Here at Trinity-Pawling, you know, oftentimes like 3 times or 4 times in a semester, we do a lot of fundraising stuff with different kind of organizations for our boys, for people who suffer from diseases and stuff. And yeah, we just do a lot of fun activities, and people put a little bit of money, like you can put $1 or $10 or whatever you want, but just demonstrate that, you know, we're giving back and helping other people outside of our community. And yeah, we've been doing that. It's a tradition. We've been doing that every year.
I would just add something that wasn't mentioned earlier about, you know, cool things that international students have actually participated in. Our fall play was a play called The Odd Couple by Neil Simon. And in fact, the majority of the cast were international students, some from Vietnam, Korea, and Stuka, were you part of the crew? I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, I do want to highlight that, you know, that we had individuals who, you know, were able to get onto the stage where many of them English is a second language. So, you know, I'm pretty proud of the international students that participated in that and had the courage to learn performing on a stage in a secondary language, basically. So I just wanted to mention that as a strength of the international student community here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of our panelists' time here. I do want to thank them sincerely for their efforts. And they do have some programming tomorrow, but they're hopefully void of some homework, and they're able to hang out with some friends in the dorm tonight. So Fayum, Sean, Stuka, Rain, Tony, I really appreciate you boys joining on a Friday evening, and a special thank you, yes, to our you know, our two faculty members, Ms. Kaplan and Mr. Poon, for their time to help. Please know that we are also still, we'll absolutely be here if you want to connect to us or have other specific questions. You're more than welcome to reach out to us. Starting early next week, we will be doing a few more webinars based on our academics, our Center for Learning Achievement, which will also cover our English Mastery program. So any families that are looking for that program, we'll be able to address that. And then we will get to our in-person revisit day, which we are all hoping that will become available to everybody around the world as soon as possible. But we will always be here to help answer questions for you. So a big thank you again to our panelists. We really appreciate it, and thank you for joining. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and congratulations again on your acceptance to Trinity-Pawling. We hope you join the Pride. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.